But I think it's important we watch, and this is one of those things, by not watching and hiding away from it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Hey guys, it's James back with another horror movie challenge where I ask up and coming YouTubers to react to a horror movie but with a twist. I had some amazing reactions. In this video we're going to talk to Felicity, who's a true crime expert.
I am AF Pennington. I specialise in true crime and my videos go up every week. And that's me.
Make sure you stay to the end of the video. I'm absolutely hyped about the outcome of this conversation.
A small pen with a
Oh,
secret
farrowing
hatch
cages.
designed to allow the piglets to feed from their mother, the sow, while preventing her from moving around.
Isn't it
The frequency of
awful?
stillborn or mummified piglets generally increases with each litter as the sow's bodies become less
Oh,
capable of handling the large litter sizes,
poor
succumbing to
babies.
disease, starvation, or dehydration.
It's disgusting. Oh, I just want to pick them up.
The runts of the litter, who are considered
Oh,
economically unviable and killed by staff.
Isn't it awful? Our meat trade, honestly.
The most common method of stunning and killing pigs is the carbon dioxide gas chamber.
Oh, I've
System
heard of
rotating
these.
cages lowers the fully conscious pigs 2 or 3 at a time into the heavily concentrated gas, which begins to burn their eyes, nostrils, sinuses, throat,
Poor
and lungs,
things.
while suffocating them.
And this is the thing that annoys me. Sorry to talk over it, but I know that people think that legal slaughter means pain-free slaughter, and it really doesn't, does it? That's just disgusting. Can you imagine if someone did that to a dog? Oh, baby. Oh, then the babies. Oh, baby. Oh. 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 And that's your dairy, isn't it? I'm assuming.
Those who avoid the stunner or who are improperly stunned
Oh,
are killed
babies.
while conscious.
Yeah.
Into a separate conveyor belt from the healthy females.
They're the male chicks, aren't they? They get rid of them all. Yeah, that's it's just
Smaller hatcheries may use carbon dioxide
again what, they're just a day old.
or simply suffocate the chicks in plastic bags. All commercial egg farms, caged, barn-laid, free-range, organic, RSPCA
When life becomes a byproduct,
the
eh?
killing of male chicks.
Oh, poor things. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah, so first of all, Felicity, I'm really sorry to put you through that. I know it can be quite traumatic. What's your initial reactions to that? I mean, obviously you were quite vocal with your objection to it throughout, but which I thank you for.
That's all right. I've got to say, I love the way you're doing this. So the horror thing, you obviously pre-warned that there was going to be a bit of a twist. I absolutely love this. I think it's brilliant. And I think you were quite concerned about how I would react. I've watched stuff like this, although maybe not as graphic, particularly with the calves and things, and what was happening to the pigs in the gas chamber. But I think it's important we watch, and this is one of those things, by not watching and hiding away from it doesn't mean it's not happening. And funnily enough, today I'm not a vegan. I am a hypocrite. I hate that. I do eat some meat, but today I did have some vegan stuff. I have been a vegetarian in the past. I actually stopped when I became pregnant. I had a craving for KFC of all things, and then started eating meat again. But I'm very aware that I'm a hypocrite, and I don't like that because I don't like what's going on there. And if I carry on doing what I'm doing, I'm supporting that stuff that we just watched, and I don't want to support that.
Yeah, well, first, thanks for being so genuine and so honest. I mean, it's not really not my style to go around like preaching at people like you're a piece of shit, you should be vegan, and like shouting at people and screaming meat is murder. I'd much rather just like have genuine interactions with people. And the reason for that is I believe in my heart that people aren't bad, people are intrinsically good. We're kind of weak sometimes, but also like a lot of this has been hidden from us. Like you kind of, obviously you've come into contact with some of these videos before, you've got some level of awareness, but most people haven't. And I genuinely believe that most people have the values that they wouldn't agree with this practice. And if I can just sit down and have a genuine conversation with people about it, they probably don't want to support these industries anyway.
Well, that's the thing, James, because I see quite a lot of people dissing halal, and a lot of people will, the commentary online will be, well, it's cruel. All slaughter is cruel. That just because, you know, it's not done halal doesn't mean that the animal is alive 1 second and dead the next, and there's no fear or pain or anything. Of course it has to go through that process. So if you are against something being afraid, scared for its life, being in pain, then you must be against all slaughter. Otherwise, like me, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if most people sit down and really dig deep inside themselves, they'll find the idea that something humane happens inside a slaughterhouse. It's just a laughable idea that, you know, something humane can happen in a place where living, sentient, intelligent, emotionally complex beings can go into that building and come out chopped up into little pieces, and something nice happens along the way. It's crazy, right? But I don't blame people for it though. I don't blame anyone for it because it's so well hidden from us. Like,
I was going to say, I think a lot of money and time and effort has gone into sanitizing that process. And I think we as consumers find it very difficult to visualize that I don't know, that lamb curry that we have was a living creature once, or, you know, we watched the pigs. Well, that sausage that you're eating was that pig. And like I think I said it, didn't I, when we were watching? Would you do that to a dog or something? What would happen if we did that to a dog, or we did that to a cat?
I mean,
You know?
I once did like a bit of a demonstration just to prove a point, where me and a friend went and stood in Sheffield city centre with a sign and a table, and on the table we'd got some they were like veggie burgers that we'd cut up into little pieces, but we got signs saying free dog meat burgers, come and try some humanely slaughtered beagle. And people were threatening actual violence upon us. People wanted to hurt us.
It.
Someone on the internet offered £1,000 to whoever beat us up, filmed it, and sent them a video of it. That's how strongly we are.
My family, my ex-husband's Chinese. So obviously with the COVID situation, we've had quite a lot of backlash from that. And I've certainly noticed there's a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment. And along with that comes obviously the dog and the cat, you know, where it's consumed in certain places. And so that's not the majority, it's a minority. But then the way I'm looking at it as an English born white Western woman, well, isn't that just hypocrisy at its finest? Because, you know, I've got somebody having a go at me because, you know, some Chinese person eats a dog, but that person's probably had a burger. So why is it that one animal is food and it's okay to kill and eat, but the other one, it's bad if you kill and eat it? It's bad to kill and eat anything that was alive. Surely that's, you know, or is that just me? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, no, it's there's actually a word for that system. It's called you know, like you get racism, it's discriminating against someone based on their race. or sexism is discriminating against someone based on their gender. So there's a word, it's not that commonly used unless you're in the vegan movement, but it's speciesism, and that basically just means treating somebody different based on the species they belong to as like the only feature. And people have wrote, best-selling books about it. There's one by a world-renowned psychologist, Dr. Melanie Joy, I think it's called "Why Do We Love Dogs, Wear Cows, and Eat Pigs?" And it's just challenging the system that, well, I mean,
it's true. It is true, isn't it? People will kind of fur hags and then have a leather sofa. What's the difference? You're wearing the skin of, you're sitting on the skin of a creature, and I've done it myself. I have been, and I still am, because I hate what's going on, and I still eat meat. But I must say I have cut an awful lot of it down because I'm aware, and that's the thing. It doesn't sit comfortably. I think though the younger generation, I think they're more kind of aware of the environmental impacts and the dietary impacts, and they say, don't they, that we're not going to be able to have enough protein. We're going to have to move to maybe insects and other things in the future. We're not going to be able to have enough protein from animal sources. So I'm an oldie, so my kind of, and this isn't an excuse, but my generation, like you said, has grown up like that. Hopefully as younger people come up, they're more aware, and the internet's amazing for stuff like this, because that's where I've seen some of that stuff. But prior to the internet, I would never have seen that, so I didn't know that happened. I have no excuse now, so maybe I need to sit down and I do need to reevaluate things, because I don't need meat. I don't. And I like corn, and veggies are quite, they're all right. I can sustain myself. So yeah, this has given me a kick up the arse that I've needed, I think, definitely.
Is the sensory pleasure we get from the 5 minutes or so that we're enjoying that meal, is it worth more than the life of a sentient being?
Well, is my 2 or 3 minute sensory pleasure worth the 2 or 3 days of pain that chick had, or that 2 or 3 months worth of pain that calf had? Or no, there is no kind of trade-off. There's no way that I can justify any or gain any pleasure from that via the suffering of something else, if I want to sleep at night and have a clear conscience, really. Otherwise I'm just a hypocrite.
Let's say that you don't want to support these industries anymore. Let's say it keeps you up at night, like worrying about what happens to these animals, and you can't do it anymore and you need to make a change. Felicity, what would be the biggest challenge for you? What would be the hardest part?
The biggest challenge for me, having been a vegetarian for years, I didn't miss meat. I still had eggs and I still had milk. So I would still have been supporting the dairy and the egg trade, because I wouldn't have been aware of it at that point. We've got lots of things now, like soy milk and almond milk and stuff. My biggest thing is, I think, very unique to me, in that I'm in a very unique position. I think we spoke about it when I was doing that, and that I'm disabled at the moment, and somebody prepares all my food. So it wouldn't necessarily be me that would have the issue. I think it would be somebody that would have to change their mindset in terms of purchasing, cooking, all that kind of stuff. So I think I would probably find it easier than the other person, and I think that's the challenge. In that, whereas you'll get people that maybe watch this that want to do something, but maybe a partner's not on board, or a parent's not on board, or they've got children and a limited budget, so could they afford to do 2 separate meals? And I think that's the only kind of thing that I can envisage being in the way. It's other people's opinions and their willingness to change as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, I mean, that's not a situation I found myself in. How would you overcome that barrier, I guess?
I would say show them what I've just watched, I would think probably would be a first start, because if they're not aware, then they're not making an informed choice. So probably that would be the first step, and then having a discussion about it and saying, do we need to do this? How do you feel about this? Basically, do to them what you're doing with me now. I like the way you've done it though, because I mean, like I say, you gave me, like last night I was thinking, what's this twist? What's going to happen? What's it all about? And then when I saw it's legal, I was like, right, okay, this is really interesting. And then when the first scenes came on, I kind of knew what it was going to be. It's like, yeah, this is really good, actually. I really like the way you do it. Not this isn't good, but what you're doing is good. And it was hard to watch. And I'm still thinking about those calves with that one where they put the prongs in, and then they took it out and the calf moved, and then he kind of stabbed it. It's like, oh no, that's playing in my head over and over and over and over again. And that's the bit I remember the most. But, it's happening. It's happening all the time, all over the world.
And normally the strongest reactions I get, if I'm being honest, are normally when talking about the dairy industry with women who are mothers. Because they understand the fierce maternal bond that a mother has with her baby, and they see baby calves being taken away from their mum and killed at like 1 day old because they happen to be a boy and they don't want the boy to drink milk, and he's never going to make his own milk, so he's a byproduct. Like you said, life becomes a byproduct. Mothers see that and immediately make that connection with, how would I feel if someone tried to take my baby from me so they could put my milk on their cereal.
I mean, when you think about it that way as well, I mean, I remember saying to one of my children about milk, and they said, what is milk? Where does milk come from? And I told them, and it was like, when you actually say it like that's the breast milk of another animal, it's like, oh. It's actually quite disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. It's well, you know what, most of the time when I've tried to have conversations like this with people, I'll normally ask them, like, why do you think cows make milk? Which seems like a really stupid question, but you wouldn't believe how many people say, oh, well, they just do. That's what cows do. They eat grass and they turn it into milk. And they never make the connection that actually mothers make milk, and that cow had to be impregnated against her will first, and then have the baby taken away so that we can take the milk. And most people, when I then explain it to them like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty messed up.
And then when the poor cow has kind of got to the point where she's not yielding as much milk or whatever, then she's in a dog or a cat food can, I suppose.
Yeah, normally after 5 years, they go through about 5 cycles of pregnancy and then lactation and having the milk taken away, and then normally after 5 or 6 years they can't stand up anymore. They go lame and then get, like you say, get turned into cat food or something similar.
That's horrible, isn't it? Oh.
Okay, well,
I can't wait to show this to people. I'm thinking about who I can send it to, and who I can get to watch it, because again, if I was to turn around and say to somebody, have you thought about going vegan, they'd switch off straight away. The fact that this is a YouTube video, the fact that it's being done the way it is, I think I've got more chance of getting people to watch it as well, rather than just sort of say things to people. So yeah,
that would be really cool. I'd love to keep
brain thinking.
I'd love to keep in touch with you and hear how those conversations go, and if your behaviour changes in the future, if you end up going like vegan or something in the future, I'd love to know about that. I will share some resources with you afterwards as well, just in case you do want any help. You're also free to reach out to me if you've got any questions.
Cool.
But yeah, I am quite conscious that I said I need like 15 to 20 minutes of your time, and it's been like 35 minutes, so I do want to respect your time, and
no problem.
But I also really appreciate it. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll close with this final thing then, because this is something that I've been thinking about before, and it's something that it like I said, this has given me the kick up the arse. So I will now say, what date are we on today?
The 26th of February.
26th of February. Okay, I will go vegan for March. And
wow.
see how it goes. Yeah, and then
keep us updated.
yeah, if you can send me some resources and stuff, I am more than willing to do that. And then obviously see myself what it's like and get my head around it. And yeah,
I'd love to check back in with you at the end of
continue it.
March then. And
Yeah, let's do
if
it.
I don't hear from you, I'll know it's because you're hiding your head in shame because you didn't manage. But I'm sure it won't come to that.
But yeah, vegan March. I'll do vegan March, no problem.
Wonderful. Right, well, thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
So remember when I said there was a really great outcome to this video? I kept in touch with Felicity, and as well as showing me all of the amazing vegan food that she tried over the next few days, here's some of the messages that she sent me. The vegan thing isn't as restrictive as I thought it would be. I'm amazed at how much stuff there actually is. I'm loving it at the moment, to be honest. I don't know, I feel lighter somehow and less sluggish, and it's only been 2 days. Well, I wasn't sure I'd be able to continue after March, but if it's like this, I can't see why not, as I'm not missing out on stuff I like, just substituting for the exact same but vegan. I'm sure you'll agree this is an amazing outcome. Also, Felicity's now shared the same video with members of her family who are not only supporting her on her journey, but also changing their own diets. And Felicity is determined to share this video with more people to help raise awareness of this injustice. What an amazing outcome. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn notifications on and drop a comment below if you enjoyed the video. See you next time.